Hi there, this is the final video for the Alleycats lab investigation. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how to do the presentation to finish this project. So by now you should have finished the lab, collected all of your data, analyzed it, and come to a conclusion for the Alleycats bowling league. It is time now for you to create a presentation for the Alleycats bowling team. So what we're going to do is go over this presentation document to get you started and to plan before you jump right into making Google Slides. So pay very, very careful attention to this planning process. You want to make sure that you are referring to your lab data. Now, I didn't ask anyone to turn in shareable links to their Google Sheets, but you will want to have those ready to copy and paste data tables and graphs from your Google Sheets into your slideshow presentation. So once your teacher is done explaining the requirements for the presentation, you are going to sit down as a group and go through this planning document. You need to know who your audience is. You need to know the problem or task that you were given at the start of the lab and the purpose or goal of this presentation. It's also really important to sit down with your group and look very carefully at the rubric. One of the things students don't often use as frequently as they should is the rubric that the teacher gives you. Make sure you know all the criteria that's required of you for knowledge and thinking points, for agency points, and be sure to know which categories are a group grade and which categories are individual. Once you determine who your audience is and what you're graded on, you're going to use this part of the document for a storyboard. So this is a layout for your slides. The best plan is to assign a slide to at least one person, and the slides have certain topics for you to use as a guide and follow. So the first slide should be an introduction. You should be addressing the audience and giving a reason for your presentation. So you can type in notes, you can put in pictures here if you want, and decide who's going to speak on this slide. You're going to explain the lab and the materials that you used. Remember, you're talking to a bowling team, but you didn't actually do your lab at a bowling alley. So it's really important to explain carefully the lab setup, the model, the materials that you used, and what each item in your lab related to in real life. For instance, you didn't use bowling balls, you used marbles. On slides 3, 4, and 5, you're going to show your data table and graph for all three of the variable tests. So the first test gets slide 3, the second test will be on slide 4, and the third test will be on slide 5. You need to be prepared to discuss the data, everything that you found during each trial, including your averages, but don't give any conclusions yet. Slide 6 is the only slide that all group members are required to speak when it's on the screen. So this is a really important slide. This is your conclusion that you've come to based on the data in all three tests. So looking at all three tests, what is the best plan of action, or what is the recommendation that you're going to give to the bowling team for them to win the championship? And finally, on slide 7, in addition to your recommendation, you're kind of going to throw in a little mini science lesson. You're going to back up your recommendation for winning the tournament by discussing the potential and kinetic energy concepts and the science behind your recommendation. If you feel like you need more slides, that's optional. The minimum is 7 slides, and I do suggest dividing up the speaking roles for each slide. But remember, everyone must speak when slide 6 is on the screen. Once your teacher has approved this planning document and your storyboard, you're going to create Google Slides. Okay, one group member will create the slides and share it with the other group members. And then immediately after creating, even though I know it's not going to be finished, you're going to want to share a shareable link to the class document. So this is for my class for 2021. And you'll simply type in your names and put in a link to the presentation. And I like to test the links as they come in. I'll turn the box green once I've tested it. Okay, so here's some important dates. These are subject to change in case of a closure or snow day or what have you. But my plan is to start the presentation and planning on Tuesday, January 12th. You can work on planning and creating slides Wednesday through Thursday and have time to practice and do critical friends on Thursday the 14th. Presentation days will be Friday the 15th, Monday the 18th, and possibly Tuesday the 19th if we need more time. And we'll determine the order in which group goes when we get closer. So we have a few days to work on this. You're going to want to have your labs out. You're going to want to have your Google Sheets, your data tables, your graphs, and put it all together. And this is the end of this project, putting it all together in a presentation. So good luck and ask questions if you have them.